Have you ever wondered if it's hard to become a famous actor? Well, today we will talk about that and more on this episode of A Dog's Talk. Well, it's been a while. I think it's time I made a new episode for this podcast. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Thanksgiving, and so on and so on. Just welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 7. Yeah, I have it right there. Episode 7 of A Dog's Talk. So welcome back. I'm happy to be making this new episode. It's been a while. A lot's happened since the last episode, which I did in the summer, fall time. I've completed another third semester of college, which is good. I'm happy to have that under my belt. Everything went well. The semester went well. I came home and I just got so involved in the festivities. I worked for a bit. I just really didn't have time to make a new episode, and that really did make me sad, but I really did want to make a new episode, and so I'm glad that today I'm making this one finally. So welcome back to all the listeners, that have been listening to the other episodes. Welcome back to any new listeners. Welcome. We're glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you listen to the show. The show I hope is fun. I try to make it fun. I try to make it as much as me not reading off a script as possible. Obviously some things I do read off what I write down, but most of the time it's just me ad-libbing, making a fool of myself, and sounding really weird. But anyway, so the plan I want to do, and I hope I can do it. I hope I don't become lazy or anything like that. But so what's next for the podcast? So we're getting up there in episodes. This is episode 7. My plan is to release 3 episodes in 3 days. So today being episode 7 will be the first of that little trio right there. Hopefully I can get an episode out tomorrow. I'm going to try my hardest to get an episode out tomorrow. That will be episode 8, obviously. And then the day after, hopefully an episode 9. If that does not work, then those 2 other episodes will be coming out before I go back to school. Maybe not in the days in a row type of plan that I have, but hopefully I can do that for you all, the fans and the listeners. So that's kind of the plan that I'm hoping to do. Because I've kind of missed a lot that I said I was going to do. But that's what I'm going to do and try and make it up for you. I will guarantee that there will be 2 more episodes for this podcast before I go back to school, which is at the end of the month. So it's coming up, but I got some time. So this past week, I reached 200 downloads for the show, not just an episode, but for the entire show. So that's not a lot, especially since I have 6 episodes out, but it's a milestone. It's awesome. The podcast has been up for, I believe, 6 months now. So I'm just happy that I reached 200 and didn't stay in the below the 100s and stuff. When I went away to school, I reached 100 downloads. So I'm glad I got 100 more. Downloads, for those of you that don't know, is basically how many listens I get. The program I use doesn't have listens, or podcasts don't really have listens. They have what's called downloads, which is basically the same thing. I'm really humbled about that. Thank you to all the listeners that listen to the other episodes. I'm hoping by the next time, when I come back and season 2 starts, which will be maybe around Easter, maybe the summer, I'm not sure yet. But I'm hoping that when I come back for that, I'll have more than 200. Hopefully maybe it'll even hit 400. That would be really awesome, and but one step at a time. So thank you for the 200. It's a really big milestone for me, and thank you all to the listeners. But yeah, let's let's get to 400. How about we say that? Let's by the next season, let's get to 400 downloads on this show. I got some exciting things planned for some of these shows. I think tomorrow, if I do episode 8, or whenever I do episode 8, I'm going to attempt to video record that, so you can also watch me. If those of you who like watching podcasts instead can watch me, that'll be a new thing for season 2. If that gets a lot of attention, I'll start recording myself and posting video on my YouTube page. My YouTube page is just Tim Burgess. It should come up with a picture of my face. It's not the show. But if you look up A Dog's Talk with Tim Burgess, it will come up. But it's just my account, my personal account, that I've been posting these just audio recordings to. So let's get right into talking about some good stuff today. We got some good stuff for the show today. I'm looking forward to talking about some of these things, especially the Let's Talk that will be later on, because it's something that I'm very interested in. I'm very passionate about. It's not a social issue at all, but it's not even an issue, but it's an interesting topic if you want to look more up about it. But first, I got to talk about TikTok. So I'm not a huge TikTok person at all. I have an account. I have an account for A Dog's Talk, which if you haven't checked it out on TikTok and you use TikTok, go ahead and check out A Dog's Talk with Tim Burgess on TikTok. It should be linked to my profile in these podcasts, but if it's not, just go ahead and look up A Dog's Talk with Tim Burgess. I've posted, I believe, 2 videos on there, on that account. The thing with TikTok, if I'm going on my personal account and I'm going to just watch things, I can be on there for 3 hours. And I'm pretty sure many people have that same issue. I don't make many videos on my personal account. I'm working on doing more stuff for the podcast account, but I don't go on TikTok that much, only because I know I'll be on there for 3 hours or more. So it takes up a big part of my day. If I just start watching TikToks, I do like posting them. Now, saying that, and I just told you I don't post that much, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna try uploading more things that don't always have to do with TikTok, but of course are appropriate. Things that don't always have to do with the podcast on TikTok. So like, if there's like a funny dance or something, I might do it with some friends or something and post it on the podcast account. But most of the time it's going to be podcast related stuff that goes on there. And maybe some behind the scenes stuff if I get more followers and stuff. I did one behind the scenes video, I believe, and the quality did not come out good because I used the selfie camera on my iPhone. So that I've learned not to do. So I've got my actual camera that will make better video. I'm not saying that the selfie camera is bad for things. Apple, if anyone from Apple's listening, not saying that. I'm just saying the video did not come out very good on the iPhone. Anyway, definitely go check out my TikTok. So I think I should have written it down before I started recording this episode, but like I said, I'm ad-libbing most of this, but I think my TikTok is A Dog's Talk / with Tim Burgess. I'm not sure, but if you just look it up, it should pop right up. There's not many shows that have the same name as me, or especially like, with the Tim Burgess part at the end. So definitely go check it out. Hopefully give it a follow. I'm going to be trying to do some more videos and stuff in the coming weeks, more updates kinda, but for real like updates, you're going to have to follow my Instagram and my personal Twitter, which are all linked in my profile. So before I continue, I'm just going to we're just going to take a quick break right here. So I'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Machine Gun Kelly and his music. So stick around for that. All right, I'm back. So we're going to talk about MGK a little bit, a.k.a. Machine Gun Kelly, if you are not aware. Machine Gun Kelly is I wouldn't call him he is a rocker. rocker, pop. He does everything really, except really country. But over these past few months, I've always liked Machine Gun Kelly's voice and his music. I've always liked it. But over the past few months, I would say, I've come to really enjoy it, and it's just like I'm a sucker for good songs. Anything, like, doesn't matter the genre. If it has any type of good beat, if the words like make sense and the song makes sense, it's for me. I'll listen to it. I'll add it to my playlist any day. I'm looking at my playlist right now, and some of these songs by Machine Gun Kelly, I listen to them every day, and most of the songs, most of the time, if I add them to my playlist, I'll play them a lot, and then after a while, like many people, I will get bored of listening to them, but then by that point, I'll have something new that I've listened to, which is kind of what like this part of the show goes into. Like, I bring up a song one episode that I've been listening to, and then like the next episode I might have a different one, because I've listened to that other one so many times that I've become not bored by it. Of course I'll go back and listen to it and I'll still like it, but just because I found a better one that is kind of meeting the needs of what I'm like needing to listen to and stuff. And so Machine Gun Kelly is not one of those artists that I've come to get bored of after months of listening to some of the same songs, but I've now learned to shuffle my playlist so I don't listen to the same first song all the time. So some of my favorite songs currently by Machine Gun Kelly are Forget Me To, Kiss Kiss, Lonely, and then Drunk Face. But that's only, what did I say, four or three of 18 songs that I have on this playlist. I've just I wouldn't say fallen in love with his music, but he has very good music. His voice is what I love to hear in an artist is if their voice is recognizable. Like, if it's unique or recognizable. Wait, go back. That doesn't make sense. If it's unique, meaning there are many artists that will sing and they sound like other artists. But then there's other singers that will sing and their voice is the only one that like you hear their voice and you can easily guess who it is, who's singing that song. And so Machine Gun Kelly, I believe, is one of those people. If I was blindfolded and asked who this was singing a song and it was Machine Gun Kelly, I would most of the time guess Machine Gun Kelly and I would probably get it right. Because one, I know the song. And then two, his voice is just so recognizable and it's so unique that you can easily listen to his music and you automatically know it's him. Machine Gun Kelly, if you're listening to this, I know I keep making a fool of myself when I say this, and I know this is going out on the air, but that's part of what makes this show funny, unique, is because I don't read off a script. Everything's coming from my head, which sometimes isn't good, but sometimes is good. That's why I probably say all the time. But anyway, Machine Gun Kelly, if you're listening to this, hit me up on the email that is in the bio of every episode or the bio of the show, and let's do an interview. I know he's definitely not listening to this because I don't have that many listeners on each episode, but still, blow it up. Let's see if we can get Machine Gun Kelly to come on the show and talk to me about his music and his background. A singer's background is always so interesting and it always comes out through their music. So just getting the story out about each artist is also an interest of mine because I go on YouTube and I watch some of these artists' interviews. I also love going on YouTube, and if I've been listening to a certain artist's song for like a long time, or if I'm really becoming if it's really becoming enjoyable and stuff, I'll go on YouTube and I'll look up we'll use Machine Gun Kelly as an example. Machine Gun Kelly performing drunk face. And I love watching live performances of them because I like comparing if their voice in person at a concert sounds like not the same. It obviously sounds similar, but it wouldn't sound the same. But just like I like watching it. I like watching things and listening to things, but I mostly like watching things. That's probably why I like movies so much, especially movies that come from books. I don't read really, so watching things is better for me than reading things. And many people are like that. And I should read more, but I never fell in love with it. So anyway, Machine Gun Kelly. Obviously, if you don't know who he is, go check him out. But there's not that many people that don't know who he is. If he's not your type of singer, that's completely fine. But every song he has a story behind it. And artists that do that, most of the time in my mind, are the most successful artists that perform. So Machine Gun Kelly, go check him out. Go check him out. Go check out some of his songs. Yeah. So we're going to move into the next and last part of this show. I think the show is going to end up being shorter than normal, which is probably good. Then you don't have to listen to my annoying voice. I like making fun of myself. If you're new, I like making fun of myself on this show all the time. So if you ever like just start laughing out of nowhere when you're listening to the show, that's kind of what the goal is. But I'm also not a comedian, so but making fun of myself I like to do within a certain amount, like within a certain like criteria, obviously. But yeah, so I make fun of like me talking a lot because I know it's terrible. I know it. I hope it's not hard to hear, or hard to listen to. But yeah, so I like making fun of myself. Yeah, so yeah, this episode, like I was saying, is probably going to be a little shorter than normal. I've had episodes that have been an hour before, but this one will definitely not be an hour. So yeah, that means less time listening to my annoying voice and thinking about what I said, or what I say. So we're going to transition to the Let's Talk real quick. So today's Let's Talk. Let's Talk is one of my big segments that I like to do. It's the one I do most of the time. I'm working on doing new things because things that continuously are done, that doesn't make sense. Things that continuously get talked about, like the Let's Talk section, get annoying. So I'm going to try and talk about new stuff. But today's Let's Talk today. Yeah, see, I can't talk today. Wow. So it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been in front of the mic. But I'll get used to it again, and my voice will probably get better. Anyway, let's talk today. The profession of acting. So many people have fantasized about being up on the big screen of a blockbuster film in a movie theater or on TV every Tuesday in a popular TV show. But the possibility of being on the big screen is extremely low. So when we come back, we'll talk more about this topic right after this break. So stick around. And we're going to talk more about the profession of acting. Welcome back, everyone. So what sparked this topic of discussion in me was the show Game of Thrones. Now, many people are aware and have watched the very popular series on HBO, Game of Thrones, when it came out. I recently just started watching it. I've been binge watching it for weeks now. And, I'm going to talk more about Game of Thrones in the next episode. So make sure if you're interested in hearing what I think about Game of Thrones, please listen to episode 8 when I go into more detail and talk more about the show Game of Thrones. But for now, I will only mention the show by name, only because it is the reason that sparked this conversation that I want to have today. And, like I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go into it more right now by saying, like, I've always loved watching movies and TV shows. Watching movies and TV shows has always been a huge I wouldn't call it a hobby. Well, you could call it a hobby, hobby, interest, whatever. Uh, I've always been intrigued by the profession of acting, and I've always loved watching movies and TV shows. And if both of those movies or TV shows are really good, my imagination takes over and puts me into the story, and I become engulfed in the adventure that is happening before me. Like I said before, I'm not a huge reader, so I don't read that much. I love watching movies. I love watching things unfold in front of me. I love going to the movie theaters and looking up at the big screen and seeing the adventure or whatever is happening in front of me. So I've always wanted to become a rich and famous actor and float around from movie to TV show all my life. So how hard is it to become a famous and rich actor in this day and age? First, here are some just some facts about the career. Now just a little disclaimer. When I looked up on just Google facts or probability of a normal American citizen becoming an actor or actress, there wasn't much data to be taken from. I'm not sure if my keywords are wrong. I'm not sure if there hasn't been a lot of research done on it, but there wasn't much information that I could find right away on just a normal Google search. But what I could find were these two facts. And the first one is the industry of acting is extremely competitive, and only the best get chosen for popular films. So, meaning you have to be one of the best actors, like a Leonardo Dicaprio, in your audition to be put up on the big screen or to start out in the big screen. How I was thinking of this. Now I mentioned in some of my other episodes that I'm studying sociology in college. And so my mind kind of just thought about the career of acting, either in a TV or a movie, is like a system. So, like the criminal justice system, you have to get put into it first. So with the acting system or the acting career system, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's TV, Broadway, like theater, or movies. They're kind of intertwined in the same like system. You have to get put into it. The process of getting put into it, most of the time, the most common one is going to an audition and auditioning in front of, I don't think the director most of the time is in the audition. It's most of the time a casting director and some other people that are involved with the film. So you'll do what they ask you to do, which most of the time is read lines and pretend that you are that person reading the lines. And then, most of the time you go home, you won't get a call back. Only because the standards for getting into the system of acting are so high. You have to be extremely, mind-blowingly good in an audition in order to be put into the system of acting. And the good news is, say you get a call back, you get hired, you're in the system. So you start working on this movie or TV show and you start filming and stuff and doing read-alongs and stuff, and you do a good job. Well, you are put into the system. Getting put into the system allows you to continue the profession if you are doing a good job on your projects, if you're doing a good job on the films. So and the good thing is, most of the time, if you get put into the system and you continuously get recognized and are getting a fan base you get more popular within the system. So therefore your opportunities to do more projects, more prestige projects becomes more available to you. Like some of these actors, like Leonardo DiCaprio, his first film, He blew it out of the park. I don't know what his first film was. Some people that are obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio will know the first film he was in. He probably I don't know this, but my guess is he wasn't like the main character in his first film. That rarely happens where someone who is auditioned becomes the main character. Now, that does happen, but not all the time. Most of the time you'll be an extra or a backup character or whatever. But you can still blow that out of the park and become recognized by many other people who are hiring within the system, and will put you in more like roles that are more prestige, that are prestiged higher and things. So it's kind of like a promotion every time you get into like a better role or better whatever. You get more prestige and then you become popular within the system. Now, like I said, getting into the system is the hardest part. With other systems like the criminal justice system, you have to break the law and then you're in the system most of the time because a law enforcement officer will start that process of putting you in the system. With acting, you can't just go to an audition and think you're in the system already. No, you have to get accepted into the system because of your skill, your face, whatever, and what they're looking for. So you have to be brought in by a casting director, by an agent, by a normal director who thinks that you are at this extremely competitive level and that you are the best of the best. You have to be the best of the best, which makes it I'm not like throwing like bad things at the profession, all right? But anyone who analyzes the profession can see that in a way it's very discriminatory, not on race, gender, all that. There are some things that is discriminatory on race and gender because they are, if you are a female and they want a masculine male for a certain role, they're not going to accept a female most of the time that is going out for the masculine male part. But the basic thing, what I mean by discriminatory is the system is very discriminatory because they'll have thousands of people audition for, it might not be a blockbuster film, but a film that is seen by many people, but only one will get that main role that they're looking for. Only one will get that supporting role. There won't be, people. There's not like other people like in like a normal like system or career, like you have multiple people being like a sales representative or something. No, the system of acting and the career of acting, the profession of acting is very discriminatory because they want what they want. They know what they want. They want what they want. They're looking for a certain type of person for that role. And if you can pretend to be that character that they've created the best, then that is who they're going to choose. And if you look like what they're imagining in their mind as that character, then you will get that role. Everyone else, you're out of luck. You're not going to be in the job market. You're not going to be for acting. You're not going to be put into the system of acting. Most of the time, you're going to get turned away. Sometimes they'll offer people extra spots if they are also good, but most of the time, even if you're like good, you like put on a good show and you made the character and you're good, most of the time there is someone who is better and what they're looking for, and that's like the sad thing. It's such a hard and then like becoming a rich and famous actor like Leonardo DiCaprio is extremely hard, and obviously you have to put in the work, but you also have to have the image and skill to be someone else and to continuously be who and what directors and casting directors and writers are looking for in order to stay in the system of acting. And many of the famous actors they look and they are the people that these film directors and casting directors are looking for. So I'm not trying to if anyone's listening, who's trying to work towards the career of acting and has the same like imagination as me and thinking like, oh no, it's an easy profession to get into. It's not an easy profession to get into. You can practice, and you might become good enough to be put into the filming system, but most of the time you're going to get denied the opportunity in like a certain film. Now that doesn't mean that there's not another film out there that's looking for what you're bringing to the table. There probably is. You need to find it, and then you need to be put into the system by those people that are looking for your type of image and stuff, your image, your skill, and all that. So the system is very discriminatory in the way that they turn away a lot of people that might be good, but it's not what they're looking for. They know what they're looking for. And the filming industry isn't bad. All right. They're not I'm not saying like, no, I'll never watch a TV or movie again. I'm not saying that at all. Because movies and TV shows bring people together, and, you know, the filming and, movies and TV shows and theater is an art. It really is an art. I'm just saying that if you have the will and you're hopeful of trying to get like a main role when you're just starting to audition for films and stuff, you know, it's very rare. It is said that only 2% of actors make a living, meaning that only 2% of actors are making enough money to sustain themselves in the profession, and are able to live off of it. And some do very well, obviously, that we know. Like, ones who are in big films are always very, very rich and stuff, and successful TV shows are always rich. Which, if you can get to that level, congrats to you. Like many of you are extremely talented, and you are able to make yourself into someone else for the screen, for the camera. And, you know, I applaud you, because I don't think I could do it. I have acted a few times in my life. I grew up doing theater. I went to theater camps. I even got vocal lessons one time, because I'm not the best singer, but you know, I have had my fair share of acting. Would I love to be in a blockbuster? Would I love to be on a TV show? Yes, that would be amazing. I would have a lot of fun doing it, and I would learn a lot. Will it happen in my lifetime? Well, the data that I could find says it's very unlikely, but it's possible. But it's extremely competitive, and you have to be able to put in the work, put in the effort, and be the person that the film and casting directors are looking for. But yeah, so I'm not saying at all never watch another movie again because the system's discriminatory. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that if you have the interest of being an actor and actress, it's gonna be hard for you to get put into the system. But if you're persistent most of the time and patient, someone in my church, I'm Catholic, and one of the deacons said to me, and it stuck with me to this day. And, you know, I use the motto all the time. Good things come to people who wait. So if you're patient and you're persistent and you keep attacking those lines, the figure that you're trying to be for the casting directors, and you keep going at those auditions, and, you know, you're waiting for that callback all the time and all that, most of the time you'll get a call back saying, oh, we've put you in as an extra. If you're put in as an extra, definitely take it, because an extra is a way into the system. You just have to nail your part in order to continue to get promoted in the system. And so, yeah, acting is a very hard profession, but if you're in for the ride, then you're in for the ride. So be persistent. Good things come to people who wait. And yeah, and if anyone from this show has listened to me and then in the next year you become an actor or actress, shoot me an email because I'm interested. That would be interesting to know. I am not a professional on the career, but these are my personal thoughts, and they kind of make sense. If anyone wants to challenge me on anything I've said, I am always willing to be told I'm wrong. A good person in life is always willing to be told that they're wrong, and then they know when they're wrong. And you always have to own up to being wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. Not everyone knows everything in the world. So, yeah, use that email link that is in the description or the bio of the podcast, and shoot me an email if you think I'm wrong or if you think that everything I have said is wrong. I might give you a shout out on the next episode, maybe. But yeah, so that was all I have for today's episode. For those of you joining me today, returning or new, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Be on the lookout for episode 8 and 9. I'm going to try and do the 3-day in a row uploads. If not, then the 2 others will come before I go back to school. I'm going to try my hardest. I do have to write more for episode 8, and then I haven't even started writing for episode 9. But yeah, so if you're new here, make sure you go ahead and follow, subscribe, all that, to keep up on these episodes. I do try and continue to improve on how I'm doing, and I really do enjoy making all these episodes. I really do enjoy the podcasting. Maybe one day you'll see me up on a big screen, maybe after today, but probably not. But maybe someone will email, maybe a film director or a casting director will email me after they listen to this episode and say, Tim, you're exactly what we're looking for. We'll pay you $300 million to be on this new movie that we have that's going up in theaters, but probably not. But definitely, stay safe out there. COVID's ramping up again. And so get the booster shot, wear a mask. I've gone back to wearing a mask out in public because I'm too afraid of, and I have the booster, but so many people who have the booster are getting all these different variants of COVID. So make sure you stay safe out there. The holiday season is done, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be wearing a mask or being careful, because you never know if you're going to get COVID. I've had it. COVID is not fun. I had it. It's about to be a year now, coming up soon. But COVID is not fun. So definitely stay safe out there. Get the booster, wear a mask. And yeah, I'll see you all. We'll see you. I'll be talking to you all in the next episode, episode 8, which will be coming out soon. Hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, so stay safe. If you're in cold regions, make sure you stay warm. If you're in hot regions, make sure you stay cool. But yeah, until next time, see you all. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. Stay safe.